This year, hatred and outrage among certain political groups have devolved into incidents of physical violence. More and more have been sparked as the country moves closer to the election. One philosopher says a major cause is something called oikophobia. According to him, the phobia is likely to strengthen even after the election.
Violence has been on the rise in the U.S. and has been since alleged acts of police brutality emerged midsummer. The attacks, burnings, and lootings are said to have been motivated by social outrage, but philosopher Dr. Benedict Beckold said there's something else underneath the surface.
In this particular case, it's also related, I think, to what we call oikophobia, which is the sort of diametrical opposite of xenophobia. That is to say, oikophobia is the hatred or the dislike of one's own civilization, of one's own culture. And history shows that cultured Western societies, as they advance, tend to become more oikophobic. They tend to become more fragmented and splintered and to turn inward.
In major U.S. cities, particularly Portland, Oregon, physical violence and overall civil unrest have grown frequent. Dr. Beckold said oikophobic violence is committed by the left, with the group Antifa leading them.
And to some extent, unlike BLM, Antifa does not seek a redress of particular grievances. I think probably a lot of the BLM's grievances are also misdirected, but Antifa seeks to overthrow the whole system, as far as I can see anyway. And so, no, I don't think there's anything constructive about it, and I think whatever chains they wish to throw off would be replaced by even heavier chains if they were to be successful.
Alongside the oikophobic-driven violence is what Beckold called an anti-oikophobic reaction. In California, there were 110,000 gun sales in the first 5 months of the pandemic. Sources say people bought them out of a concern for lawlessness. Some expect gun sales to increase, as right-wing Americans fear a potential Biden victory will mean a repeal of the Second Amendment. Beckold said this reaction will add fuel to the flame.
So the more oikophobia goes up, the more the reactionaries on the right, the more they rally, if you will, against oikophobia. And so gun sales, when gun sales go up, that's a natural reaction to that. And which, of course, and then the more gun sales go up, excuse me, the more the left will be concerned about America being a gun-obsessed nation, and so that in turn will increase oikophobia, and so they kind of reinforce each other.
But according to Beckold, regardless of who wins the 2020 election, there will be a rise in oikophobia, which will in turn lead to more violence.
I think if Trump wins, that's going to really enrage the oikophobes and almost definitely lead to violence. And if Biden wins, and especially not only if Biden wins, but if the Democrats also take the Senate, if both those things happen, they will probably overreach, as they tend to do, which of course then in turn will lead to a greater reaction.
Officials across the country have taken measures to prevent violence related to the November election. Dr. Beckold said he hopes he's wrong, and that if a third party wins, the country could be in a safer position. Don Tran, NTD News, New York.